Hello everyone. Before diving into today's topic, we want to take a moment to thank you for your support. Every like, comment, and subscription truly makes a difference and helps this channel grow. If you enjoy our content and don't want to miss the next videos, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all notifications. We don't see it with our eyes, and yet we feel it everywhere. It is the breath of a star, an ancient pulse that flows through everything: the seasons, time, life itself. Every dawn, every magnetic field, every shiver of our atmosphere tells a story that began at the center of the solar system. There, for over 4.5 billion years, burns an incandescent heart, the Sun. It is not merely a source of light. It is a living, dynamic, powerful entity, launching into space invisible waves of plasma and magnetism, as if trying to communicate in a language yet to be deciphered. For centuries, we observed it from afar, studied it through eclipses, formulas, and models. But today science has a new, bold tool that promises to reveal the hidden side of this star like never before. It's called PUNCH, short for polarimeter to unify the corona and heliosphere, and it's more than a simple space mission. It is an ear attuned to the heartbeat of the Sun, an eye that sees where light usually blinds, a bridge between what we can imagine and what we can finally measure. At the heart of the mission is a constellation of 4 satellites, each with a specific role. 3 are equipped with wide-field cameras, capable of observing in a total visual angle of 360 degrees. The 4th is a masterpiece of engineering, equipped with a narrow-field camera and a coronagraph, an essential instrument used to block the solar disk and analyze the corona, the part of the Sun's atmosphere that shines like a halo during eclipses but normally remains invisible. After a long and delicate phase of testing and calibration, the satellites have officially entered operational mode. And the first results have left scientists in awe. One of the most extraordinary events observed was a coronal mass ejection, an actual solar eruption where the Sun hurls into space a gigantic cloud of plasma, magnetic fields, and charged particles. These phenomena can travel at speeds over 2 million kilometers per hour and strike the planets of the solar system, Earth included, with tremendous force. Thanks to PUNCH, this cloud was observed in fully 3-dimensional detail. For the first time, these are no longer flat, 2-dimensional images, but immersive and dynamic representations that allow scientists to analyze how the cloud evolves over time and space. The images have been processed into mesmerizing sequences, first showing the cloud's structure swelling, rising, and then detaching, expanding with an energy that seems to possess a will of its own. Other elements of the cosmos appear in the camera's field of view, as if on a perfectly orchestrated stage. The moon, white and silent, passes through the scene like a sentinel. Nearby, Jupiter and Venus, 2 brilliant lights tracing their path across the deep sky. This composition, sun, plasma, celestial bodies, is more than an image. It is a moving story, a cosmic dance we can now finally observe from within. But this is not just about visual wonder. The importance of this data is concrete and urgent. Coronal mass ejections can have direct effects on Earth. When a plasma cloud hits our magnetosphere, it can generate geomagnetic storms capable of disrupting radio communications, damaging orbiting satellites, interfering with GPS systems, and even causing large-scale power outages. The data collected by PUNCH not only allows these phenomena to be observed but, more importantly, predicted. The ability to anticipate such events is crucial in a world increasingly interconnected and dependent on technology. The PUNCH project offers continuous and detailed monitoring of the solar corona and the heliosphere, the gigantic bubble of particles and magnetic fields generated by the solar wind that envelops the entire solar system, allowing scientists to develop increasingly accurate predictive models. And it is precisely the solar wind that represents the mission's other major protagonist. Although less violent than mass ejections, this constant flow of particles emitted by the Sun has a huge impact on Earth and on the entire balance of the solar system. It shapes the magnetosphere, generates auroras borealis and australis, and defines the form and size of the heliosphere itself. It influences the orbits of artificial satellites, the intensity of radiation, and the conditions of so-called space weather. Punch allows us to observe the journey of these particles in real time for the first time, from their birth in the solar corona to the moment they interact with planetary magnetic fields. A comprehensive view that was once unthinkable, and that now opens new horizons for solar physics, aerospace engineering, and technological security. During its 2-year operational period, which may be extended, Punch will provide an immense quantity of data, never before collected with such precision and completeness. Every fragment of information will be transmitted to Earth and rigorously analyzed by scientists from the Southwest Research Institute, in collaboration with NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. This is an endeavor that combines engineering, astrophysics, computational modeling, and a good dose of human intuition. But beyond technical applications and practical implications, this mission holds a deeper value. Observing the sun does not only mean protecting ourselves, it means understanding. The sun is the matrix of our existence, the archetype of every star, the central element around which our fragile condition as living beings in space revolves. Studying its corona, its dynamic behavior, its most extreme phenomena means learning something about ourselves, about our place in the universe. The light that warms us each day is only the surface of a much more complex world. Behind that light hides a dark side, invisible to the human eye, but which shapes reality. Magnetic forces, shock waves, instabilities, explosions, plasma turbulence. Until recently, all this was inaccessible. Now, thanks to instruments like Punch, we can begin to penetrate the mystery. Among the space missions dedicated to studying the sun, Punch stands out for its ability to provide an integrated and continuous view, from the solar surface to the outer boundaries of the heliosphere, without interruption. It's as if, for the first time, we could follow the invisible thread connecting every emission from the sun to its tangible effects on our world. A journey of particles, waves, and forces that transforms into images, data, and predictive models. This new observational capability is also a revolution for understanding space weather, an emerging discipline of growing importance. Solar storms, particle flows, sudden variations in Earth's magnetic field. All of these phenomena, if not monitored and understood, can represent a real threat to our technological civilization. From communication satellites to intercontinental flights, from power grids to navigation systems, every modern infrastructure is potentially vulnerable to the effects of solar activity. That's why Punch is not just a scientific mission. It's a sentinel. A form of active listening, a way to anticipate dangers, but also to understand the deeper rhythm of the universe. Its importance goes beyond today. The data it collects will have a lasting impact on decades of research, climate modeling, and the design of resilient systems. For those who wish to explore further, there are texts that examine these concepts with depth and clarity. The Sun, Our Star by Leon Golub and Jay Pesachov offers an accessible yet complete view of the Sun's internal structure, its evolution, observation techniques, and missions like Punch. For a more technical and multidisciplinary approach, Space Weather, Physics and Effects by Bothmer and Dallies analyzes in detail the dynamics between the Sun and Earth, mitigation strategies, and observation tools, with special attention to the impact on human technologies. These scientific and literary tools help us see beyond the light. To understand that the Sun is not just a source of heat, but a living system, a cosmic engine in constant transformation. Its activity shapes the solar system, but also our lives, our instruments, and our very understanding of time and space. Ultimately, observing the Sun also means measuring the fragility of our balance. Every flare, every cloud of plasma reminds us that we are guests in a powerful and inscrutable celestial dance. But it also means rediscovering the deep connection that binds us to the cosmos. We are not separate from that fiery heart. We are its children, shaped by its breath, nourished by its energy. With Punch, for the first time, we can listen to that breath. We can see the movement of what was invisible, understand what once seemed unknowable. In this new era of solar exploration, every piece of data collected is a step toward awareness. And every awareness, a step toward survival. Because knowing the sun is not just a scientific question. It is a necessity. It is an act of listening. It is a gesture of love toward the world that gave us life.